Okay, we're now here in London with Sabaton. Now, you guys are over here. You're doing a Q&A later on in Oxford Street, are you?
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also a bit intimidating, since Dan Jones is going to be there, and he's probably forgotten more about the Templars than I will ever know.
Because this is on the back of you guys got a brand new album, the 11th studio album, Legends, coming out soon?
Yes, October 17th, so it's actually tomorrow. As we're doing this interview.
Okay, fantastic. So tell us a bit about Legends, because I mean, this is the follow-up to the War to End All Wars and the Great War. Yep. So you've moved on from First World War, which was, I'd like to point out, a phenomenal set of albums. I thoroughly enjoyed the albums.
Thank you.
And really got me into Sabaton. So tell us a bit about Legends.
Well, we felt like we were done for now, at least, with World War One. Even though, I mean, we could probably make 5 more albums and not run out of good stories. But being in that place felt like, at least when writing lyrics, vocabulary and everything, we wanted a change, something new and different. And we had this sort of greatest hits of undone songs. And there were so many. I mean, people like Napoleon, Caesar, Joan of Arc. And we didn't want to do a whole album about only Napoleon or only about Caesar. And we figured out finally, after 10 years of thinking about it, that these people have one thing in common: it's that they're all legends. So we managed to actually squeeze in a lot of these people we've wanted to make songs about for a long time. And some of them were not the ones we expected. For example, I wanted first of all Alexander the Great, even though Maiden has done it. But the song I wrote for it wasn't very good, so it's to be honest. So we thought, it had a great idea, and the main theme of it is really great. And I figured, I'll take that. Maybe we'll revisit it someday. But yeah, it's a chance for us to jump in a bit different in time as well. I mean, World War One, obviously, we're talking 1914 to 1918. Now we're jumping from 1800 before Christ with Senusret III, ancient Egypt, to Napoleon, which is 1800 after Christ. So that's quite a time span.
I'll take command, I'll take the army, I'll take the crown, my mandate to rule. I'll take your land, your independence, and I will make it part of my realm. Know that I will enforce the code that bears my name. I will take what I deem is mine and claim the fame. I will assimilate your land, my commands, so prepare. Get your armies ready, I'll be coming. I will conquer all, I will rule you. I'll bring triumph or fall, I will defend you. I'll make candles roar, I'll defeat you. I'll win the war, I will destroy you.
How did you narrow it down to the legends that you picked? There must be other legends, like you said, that you would have liked to have written about. How do you, given the entire history that you've gone through, how did you pick the legends that you wanted to go with?
It becomes a list of the ones you didn't choose after a while. But no, some of them are like the ones we wanted. Some of them, let's say we started over 100, obviously, but then there's a quick sort of sorting where you end up with maybe 40 or 50 that were possible. And then with those in mind, when you start writing music, the song about Vlad the Impaler, for example, that one we knew already when starting to write the main riff. This is the Impaler song, and that'll carry you through. So there's always one or two that are sort of decided in advance, or what's gonna work, or we can find inspiration for. There's always one or two who we call orphans. Like we have a song in a bunch of, doesn't fit any of the legends we had. Now we gotta go and research and find a legend that speaks the same emotional language as this song. So on every album there's like one or two obvious ones that we already had crystallized in mind, one or two orphans, but most of them are sort of written with a subject in mind, even though we don't have the lyrics yet, but we know what we're dealing with. So when writing Crossing the Rubicon, I know I'm dealing with Julius Caesar.
100 years before our Lord, from the cradle to the sword, a sign of what's to come, of what can be undone. On to conquest, tempting fate, in the
because I mean, I always found it fascinating. I'm sure I spend more time on Wikipedia due to Sabaton than I ever did before. And then I discovered the Sabaton History Channel, which is amazing, because you don't need to go on Wikipedia. You can watch a 15-minute video with Indy Ardale talking about a particular historical character and then talking to the band. How do you research the history part of it? How do you make sure that you presumably get the facts right about the character?
Well, to be honest, when it comes to the Sabaton History Channel, we are not writing the scripts for that one at all, actually, because we have proper historians. It's funny you mention it, because it's something we're really proud of, because we're trying to fill a gap that I think isn't really... There isn't too much medium-level history in general. So, I mean, us singing about, event, battle, history, person, whatever it is, it can only be the trailer, sort of. Get somebody interested, wanting to find out more. We can't tell the story of Julius Caesar in 3.5 minutes of heavy metal. Sabaton History, on the other hand, can give you a basic overview and an understanding. When you want to find out more about history, you have a choice. Unfortunately, maybe I'm bad at finding the right material, but it's either too basic or too advanced, for me at least. Either it's like, Julius Caesar for dummies. Yeah, I know most of that already. I'm an expert, I'm a passionate amateur. But when I go to the professional level stuff, the real books, it's too advanced sometimes, too boring sometimes. And we try to sort of fill that gap, that in between with Sabaton History.
Thy power is rising, enticing, the sun of Ra, divine of earth, through them forever, wherever. God, you know the sun, he is protector, director, immortal Horus, made of gold, through them forever, wherever. God, you know the sun.
And presumably you've gone with legends, and they are all legends, so they're all mostly recognisable names. There are a few names on there that I haven't come across, and again, I've been on Wikipedia to find them out. But part of also what you've done, like the unkillable soldier and things like that, there are people in history that I've discovered through you, because they're not at the top of the pecking order. I mean, is that... But presumably to write an album about not quite legends doesn't work.
No, that's the thing. We love to dig up these, as you said, the unkillable soldier, the fantastic stories that nobody's ever heard of. But if nobody's ever heard of them, they wouldn't be legends. So we had a problem. But what we did then is realize we can work with distance and time. So, Lu Bu, the Chinese general, for us growing up in northwestern Europe, that's probably a name we haven't come across. But most people in China will know. Miyamoto Musashi, legendary samurai. Senusret III of ancient Egypt. So that was sort of how we tried to fill that gap of, as you said, the stuff nobody's ever heard about before, because those are always the most fun, to do. For us as well, because I'm curious, I'm like a child, and the best thing I know is to go in researching a person and then finding out this is, why isn't there a major Hollywood production about this guy, or a movie? Why, finding out and writing those lyrics and then sharing them with fans or the world, or whatever you want to call it. That's hugely satisfying, I guess. But on this album, we had to work very differently, sort of find out. So we still got the same thing, but it's like, whatever's new to you might not be to somebody from China, vice versa. But trickiest one for me on this one, though, was I had to really reset on Miyamoto Musashi, the samurai, because I was aware of him even before we did the deep research, but he only as a samurai and a fighter, warrior. When going into writing the lyrics, I realized that, wait, he wrote the Book of Five Rings, and we're looking... So he's an author, and that's a philosophical work, that book, in many ways, covering combat as well, but I mean, Eastern philosophies and everything like that. So that was a big shift. So I actually incorporated all the pre-choruses of that song, The Duelist, are inspired or taken from his book, the Book of Five Rings.
Some folks been born a warrior, insubordinate tempting fate, and in the shadow of the rising He was jewel with the grapes. From the master to the temple, with his boy would come of age. In the forest he would hone his skills, and the trunks would feel his rage. In the small, by way of the great, one goes from shallow to the deep. Water falls into the shape of the vessel. Spark, lights were dying, immortal Ronin and samurai. Into battle his lane held high. See your demise, you can see it in his eyes. Will you fight or die? Immortal Ronin and samurai. Into battle his lane held high. See your demise, you can see it in his eyes.
And the last track on the album is about the King of Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
and presumably you had to do that in Swedish.
Yes.
I mean, and because most of your stuff is in English. I mean, was there a temptation to continue that theme, or did you feel because it was written about one of the kings of Sweden, you had to do it in Swedish?
It started with a song, actually. That one, Hannes came to me with an idea. I have this thing, and can we write this together? And we wrote the song, and it had this super Swedish folk music melody to it. And me and Per, then later, when working with the concept and the legends, we couldn't get out of the fact that this is Sweden. Okay, well, we sing it in Swedish. We didn't have the topic yet, but what can we do? And we looked at all kinds of Swedish historical figures we had, but only one was truly a legend, and that was Gustavus Adolphus II. But we already covered him on the Carolus Rex album. The Lion from the North is about him, and technically Gott mit uns, that song as well, which is about the Battle of Breitenfeld. So we were really struggling to find something, and we looked around on, Gustav Vasa, first king of what's considered Sweden today, but he's not a legend in history yet. For Swedish people, yes, but at least Gustavus Adolphus II, that the song is about, him revolutionizing the use of artillery. Some of his tactics are still taught in military academies today. That makes him a legend. So it's a weird thing. We thought we can't do it, but then we realized we can't do it any other way. It has to be about Sweden because of the melodies. It has to be about this guy because he's the only really truly legendary guy we got. We're a small country. We don't have like Italy. They could choose from hundreds, legends. So yeah, that's the road we had to go.
So tell us a bit about the singles that have come out so far. Templars, Follow the Calm, the videos for which, I mean, I loved Follow the Calm because it was Night at the Museum, wasn't
Yes.
it? I mean, and presumably that was just so much fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, normally I don't like doing videos at all. Pretending to play is the worst, Playing for real is fun. Recording music is fun. Pretending to play in a video is no. But now we're not pretending to play. So wherever we have a video, we're not musicians, I enjoy those more. And in this case, we're not the focus of the video. We are sort of advanced cameos, and everybody's got their own. This is a second single as well, so this is quite far in advance of the album, and we're all dressed, even though nobody said it explicitly, like we're all dressed like people from one of the songs or somebody from that era. So Hannes is a Napoleonic commander, Chris is like a stereotyped fictional version of Vlad the Impaler, you know, and we're all, Pat is like a Roman legionnaire. So there's a connection there, so we're hinting fans, and then we have Khan getting angry when he sees the world map and sees that Mongolia is that small, and he tears the map down. So yeah, there's a lot of humor in that video, and we don't have the chance to do something light-hearted or fun that often, because we're dealing with pretty serious subjects. And yes, we do take those stories very serious and history very serious. We don't take ourselves very serious though, so it's nice to, you know, have fun with things sometimes.
Under the banner of spear, blood and fear, the hordes from the steppes marching on the frontier. The way for the rider is fast, so ride hard. There's a horseman drawing near, and the strongest war appears. With the iron he will rule, the iron fist of power. There is no place to run or hide, and there are no walls so high. When the corners fall his prey, and the prey will be defeated. Warriors of the Mongol clans, they're the masters of the fight. No mercy is shown when the battle is won. The conquered will bow and the horse they will grow. Follow the Khan as they conquer the land of the souls of the Khan. Now there is no escape. The hordes of the Khan join the ranks of the horde and then follow the Khan to the end of the world. We will go to the saddle.
And Templars, which again was a contrast. I mean, I think, were you the first to die in Templars? In that?
Yes.
Yes.
I specifically asked
Oh,
for
okay.
it because I knew we were going to be in Serbia in the middle of the summer heat, and I was going to be in uncomfortable armor. I was just like, should we do it? Yes, but I want to die first.
Kill me now.
Kill me first. And they did.
God's call, holy order, knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple. God's own chosen warriors, Templars on the march, charge from the temple mount.
The war to end the wars and the Great War, I mean, we saw the tour for that. I mean, there was a tank on stage. I mean, there was fire, there was smoke, there was snow, there was barbed wire, there was everything. What can you tell us about the legendary tour? I mean, how do you top that? Because presumably it becomes... This time there isn't a World War II theme.
No.
So how do you go about staging that? What are your plans? And the Legendary Orchestra, obviously, that's something that's new. Tell us a bit about the tour.
Yeah, that's a tricky part. We've intentionally kept a lot secret here. If it's going to be better or not, or we're topping it, that's up to the crowd to decide, not us. But trust me, we've given it everything. I think we are going to top it. But we have so many moments, because we took basically everything away. We decided when we did this, now is the time. Everything we ever had on stage, it goes. And we sat down and we thought, if we were fans of Sabaton, what would make us go wow? Or if we were going to a band that we loved, what would they do that we would go, wow, this makes me so happy, I did not see this coming. So no matter if that was song choices of the set list, or production, or how the stage set is built, what it looks like, what we're doing with an orchestra and a choir, which is there as well. It has to be a secret, but I would like to say sorry to some people in advance, because there's some really uncomfortable cuts in the set list. There will be songs that some people are going to be truly pissed off that we have cut. But that also meant we made room for some songs that nobody expected us to ever play live again.
As the winter's drawing near, fast approaching change of seasons, threatening march over mountains, an army ascends. As the time is running out, a desperate move, a brave surprise, a threat to Rome comes from the north, through rocks they go, through the ice, through the cold, the snow. Over mountains, an army come from home, leading beast and man through the cold and snow. Marching, they're moving on road, guided by the stars like the valley below. Break the illusion of the foe as they cross the range where no armies go. Marching, descending on road, from the peaks to the heart of their foe.
And what was it like working with an orchestra? What's it like to hear Sabaton songs arranged for full orchestra?
I love it, especially when the arrangements are well done. We done two singular shows with orchestras in the past, one in Vienna and one in the Czech Republic. Both were fun as, hell to do, pardon my language. But this is different because you're doing it for a whole tour. So it's much more work going into it. And it's integrated in a way I don't think people expect it to be, the way it's done. And to be fair though, I think the most important thing, an orchestra is something that can be put on most music. We do have a lot of orchestral arrangements, so it does make sense for the music, but that has also influenced the set list. There are certain songs that are very good with orchestra, some aren't. And we've been very careful not to slap an orchestra sort of where it doesn't belong. But also, what I find most, not rewarding, what I think the most fitting is the choir. Because if you listen to Sabaton, there is orchestra in many songs, yes, here and there. Orchestral arrangements. But the choirs, there are very few songs where you don't have a lot of massive choirs. So to actually have that is really strengthening, that is there in every song. And yeah, it makes a huge difference. More voices.
Friends is ablaze in the darkest of days. Call for a savior and hope is rising. A woman adored with the power of the sword. Noble or not, but this is what you sought. Now that she has been chosen, she will carry the mark. Let her shine up the starlight, for here comes the dark. Will you fight to be free? Tell me, what do you see? A soldier, a man, or a maiden, a woman with a fire and steel. She's breaking the wheel as the lightning and thunder awaiting the wonder to come.
And do you have to sort of occasionally take a step back? Here you are talking about an orchestra and a choir. Presumably when you started Sabaton all those years ago, did you ever think you'd be having a conversation like this?
We were drinking beer, listening to Judas Priest Painkiller or Keeper of the Seven Keys by Halloween, dreaming of maybe we get to play Wacken one day, you know? Never mind headlining it on 2 stages or any of those. No, we had no things. When you look at Sabaton today, it looks like this is a smart guys, you know? Where they have the branding of the military theme, they have that on the stage set. These are all solutions to problems of shit that happened along, you know? Our stage clothes, we put them on for one video, and everybody said, awesome new stage clothes. We looked around like, yeah, we totally meant that. We had no clue. Sabaton cruise started as a problem. Per got angry with it. We were traveling between Sweden and Finland on a boat to... on tour basically, and how much money they wanted for the cabins and the tour buses that were going. And Per got angry with them. It's like, how? Because they have music cruises sometimes with cover bands or whatever. So he just said, it's cheaper to rent the whole goddamn boat. So he did. And that's the first Sabaton cruise. Same with the festival. There were no gigs for us in the beginning, and in our area of Sweden there weren't that many. So we were one of the bands that could pull a decent venue. The first one was indoor, and we invited other bands who were friends or who had been touring with or playing with over the years as a favor, or we thought they deserved more attention. And that's the growth of Sabaton open air, but it wasn't an open air thing in the beginning. And a lot of these things, like History Channel, that was a dream. Like, we spent so much time researching these lyrics. I wish people could understand the wordplay we chose here. Let's say from the last album we have the word infantry attacks exposing the cracks, and that is the book that Rommel wrote, Infantry Attack, that Rommel wrote about this after World War I, So this is even before he became the Panzer General. Could be anything about these things, and that's when Sabaton history was born. So you look at the sort of how Sabaton is today and all its branches and what we're doing. It looks like a fantastic master plan. But we never had a plan. We like beer and heavy metal, and then things got out of hand. And this is what happens when you leave Swedish people unsupervised. That's.
So in summary, Sabaton, accidental legends.
Yes, I think so.